We're gonna be talking about sales, starting with the 4 pillars, which is awareness, affordability, accountability, and acceptability. And I'm gonna explain all these terms in just a moment. However, sales is very hard. And I'm telling you, I used to work under someone. It was in the gym, right? And they would take a lot of my earnings. However, they did give me a platform to start speaking to people, to start getting good. However, if you don't have the confidence, if you don't have the terms, if you don't know the terminology, if you don't know how to speak to people, people are going to ignore you. People are not going to want to talk to you. And this is sales. Even if you do know what you're doing, people are going to ignore you. People don't want to talk to you. You know, I felt so annoying working in the gym because I had to keep approaching people, getting rejected. And I came with no strategy. And it wasn't until I started getting strategy, I started getting sales, I started getting those big plays, and I started getting really good at it. You have to first accept that you're gonna be annoying. You're gonna be considered this annoying middle schooler, which is how I felt as a 22-year-old, 21. You know, I felt very like, man, I'm like, these people don't like me. And I feel like this sales person, you know, when you're in the gym or those personal trainers, or you're in the mall and then the people are like, oh, you want to try this spray? I'm like, no, I don't want to. But then when you put yourself in that same position, you're like, man, wow, this is hard. I really have to keep talking to people. And the thing is with sales, if you come off as too desperate, if you come off this person like, oh, please, the money to feed my family. People don't care if you want to feed your family. People don't care if you need money. People don't care if you're rich or broke. People care about the services you provide. Can the service that you provide, can it help them? That's all they care about, because they're putting money, right? They're not gonna be like, oh, it's 100, 200, it's $1,000. Okay, I'm gonna pay for it because I feel bad. Because no, right? Yes, you're gonna have. I had people that kind of felt bad, that was probably gonna buy into the sale because they felt bad, but you don't want pity sales because they feel bad, because then you're gonna hope that a lot of people feel bad to pay, but a lot of people are not gonna feel bad, right? People are not just waiting for you to come so they can buy. People don't want to buy. People want to buy impulsive buys. People want to buy those cookies, that nice restaurant, $150, $200 meals, to go have fun, party. People will pay for that in an instant because that gives them quick dopamine, that makes them feel good in the moment. Even if they will feel regret, they want those because that will make them feel the best in the moment. But the service that you're providing, most likely, is not gonna have instant gratification. They're not gonna feel good right away. It's gonna take time for them to get results. So a lot of people, that really separates people who make money, who try to make money, who makes a lot of money, because the people that make a little bit of money, they don't want to buy your product. They don't want to wait. They want things now. And if you don't have a guaranteed 30 days, they're not going to buy it. At least some of them are not going to buy it because they're like, oh, no, but why? But that's the difference between a broke mindset and you having more of that wealthy mindset. That's how you can really, you know, distinguish people. So the first pillar we're going to be talking about is awareness. You know, the reason people may not buy your product is because it doesn't have enough visibility. People don't know that even exists. Right? For example, you can have a good product. Maybe you're selling a supplement, right? It has a good amount of protein, low calories. This is very great, but how are people gonna buy it if they don't know if it exists, right? And you're like, oh wait, but I showed this one person, I showed these 2 people, but no one bought it. No, it's because it doesn't have enough awareness, doesn't have enough visibility for people to buy it. Because that same product that you showed to 3 people, 4 or 5 people, if you showed it to 100 people and it's a really good product, at least 5, 10 people will buy that product because it's good. And it also depends on the price. Right? There's a certain price range that if you buy maybe 20, 30, 40, 50, but once you start getting to 200, 300, people will actually think about it, right? People are more likely. That's why you see people buy those shirts. $20, I'm gonna buy that. Oh, let me buy this object. Oh, it's very cheap, right? But the moment people have to buy like things that are way higher and they don't have as much money, they're gonna think more of it. And that's most likely the reason. There was this time where I was in the gym, right? And I was working there, and in the gym sold protein bars. I never knew. I've been working there. I didn't know about it until the first month or two working there. I'm like, what? You guys have protein bars? I love, and then I ate one of them. It was so good, and I kept getting them and getting them over and over. But if I never knew it existed, I wouldn't have bought it, right? Like, I just knew that existed, just like when I was working there. But it took me a while, and they also had supplements. I didn't really know. I mean, I knew it sooner, but before I knew about the protein bars. But you get what I'm saying. You see how if people don't know it exists, they're not gonna buy it. People know what's Gucci. People know where Jordan shoes. You don't have to explain. I don't have to be like, oh, did you know that Michael Jordan made these shoes? Oh, really? I didn't know that, right? And when it has a lot of visibility, people know where it is. People are more likely to share it. Let's say I bought a good product. Maybe I bought Hydro Flask, or I bought Jordan shoes. I bought Nike shoes. I don't really have to explain it because so millions and millions of people saw that same product. They know what that product is, and people buy it not because it necessarily looks good, even though they do look good, but they do it because it's trending, because Michael Jordan or the Currys, whatever shoes that you like, or the shirts or the brand. People get the Lambo because more of his brand, because a lot of people like it. It looks cool. The second pillar is affordability. This is a big one, y'all. This is a very big one, right? It's like, is your service affordable, right? And I'm not saying, oh, make it cheap, you know, because people would go in to say, oh, I feel bad, you know, I have this service and it's a little expensive. I don't want to sell it to this person because I feel bad for their pockets. But if someone wants your product and needs your product, they're gonna buy it, right? They don't need to buy it, right? You're not forcing them, right? They chose to buy that product because of the way that you framed it. You framed it in a way that they're like, yeah, I wanna buy it. Yeah, it sounds like a good product, right? You're not forcing them. They chose, right? They hear what you say, they see if it's worth it, and they buy it. Let's say you're a personal trainer, right? And you're selling your service by the hour. Okay, so you're like, you know, each hour is about $10,000 for every hour that I train you. People are not gonna buy that product. I don't care how good you are. 10,000 for one, and I need like what? How much? If I come once a week, that's like 4 sessions, and then I'm paying 40K a month. You're taking everyone's salary. They're gonna think you're greedy. You don't care, right? But if you're like $150 an hour, 200, right? It's a little bit more in higher end, but if your services that you have, if you can explain, if you show it's worth it, maybe you have a meal plan implemented into that plan. Maybe it comes with like chef, like maybe it comes with certain things that really separates you, right? But you have to be affordable because there's certain price points that makes no sense, right? However, there are price points that do make sense. Let's say you're doing a $2,000 per month, right? $2,000, $3,000 service. That's so expensive. That's so expensive. However, if someone was to understand that if they were to buy that service, they will make, within a year, they'll start making $15,000, $20,000 a month. Would they get it? Yes, because they know that $2,000, $3,000, that's a small investment. They're actually investing in themselves, right? They put that investment, that $2,000, $3,000, and now the next year they make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month. And that was nothing. Yes, it sounds like a lot because maybe they didn't make as much before, but now they're like, man, that's a great investment, and they're more likely to tell their friends about it. And when they tell their friends about it, their friends are like, no, man, that's so expensive. But then they're gonna be like, look, it's expensive, but I made XYZ. I started making 15, 20. I'm good. You know, now I live in Miami. Now I can drive that nice car I always wanted. Now, you know, it's way better. It's much easier in life versus you having a $5,000 product and they don't make much, or they get 0 to none results, or maybe they start making $100, $200, but the money that they're making, their peak is very low. They're not gonna buy it. They're gonna give you bad reviews. You know, you have to realize that You're always gonna have one person that's gonna give you a bad review. I don't care how good it is. Maybe they complain about the price. Price, that's understandable, and affordability, like I said, is a big point when it comes to sales, because the price between 100 and 200 can really explain, or it can determine if someone's gonna buy your product or not. And that's the truth. A lot of people want to make a lot of money. A lot of people want to eat good. A lot of people want to have those luxury trips. But is your product really worth that much? Right? Once you build value, once you have testimonials, once you have your product, like a lot of people see it, like I was talking about visibility, awareness, such as Nike. I can put $200 shoes. Oh, but that's expensive. It's just shoes. That's just shoes I'm gonna wear here and there. Okay, but people are gonna buy it because a lot of people know it. Gucci, oh, I'm paying $1,000. Yes, because people are like, oh, you got money, Gucci, right? People use Gucci to show off because they think it's cool. They want people to know they have money, and people are gonna buy it, even though it's not considered affordable, but it's affordable for a Gucci because they have a price range, and a lot of people are willing to spend that much on it. Third pillar is accessibility, right? Is it accessible to you, right? There's services that people would be willing to pay, but they can't receive the service because the service is not in their country. Let's say you have a product, it only ships to Florida and Canada. Okay, I'm in California. Okay, I'm gonna find another service. I can't get it, right? Accessibility, right? It can determine if you get a 1 sale to 5 to 10 sales. It has a very big standpoint, which is why some people have their services via remote, which is one-on-one coaching, which I have, which is on my link. And this is something that makes it easier because if you have internet access, you can get my service. You can get various services, right? That's why people do maybe telehealth, when it's doctor appointment, maybe they're not there physically, but they can still get the service because everything is a business and everyone wants certain services, but as you know, everyone can't get it, right? Which is why, let's say, it's kind of harder to, let's say, ship your product to Costa Rica because it's far, XYZ is a lot. So people charge more to Costa Rica. That's why the shipping fees are way more. It's not because they have anything against, but it's just because it's a hassle getting that product. However, it's still accessible to them. They just have to pay more and they just gotta have more money in general. And accessibility is not really spoken about, right? People speak about, is it affordable? Does it sound good? Does it sound right? But can people even get the product? And that's a big thing too. And for example, even certain products, you can try to make it accessible, but not everyone's gonna be able to access that product, especially if you don't have internet and you're doing remote sales, you're doing remote services. Awfully, people are not gonna be able to buy it. And then that's the truth, not everyone's gonna buy it, but it's you have to make sure that's accessible to as much people, and the more money you make, the more accessible it gets to people. Acceptability, I think this is something that a lot of people struggle with because you have to meet the customer needs and desires, but you can't let the customer try to take control of you, of maybe the price, maybe, I don't feel like you're giving, right? If you do your best with the service and you're providing the top service, the top notch, and people are not like that, oh, but I don't like the service. Okay, oh, well, they can find another service. You're not forcing no one to really get your service. But if their basic needs is, okay, I want a meal plan, I want someone help me get fit within a year, 2 years, that's reasonable. But if you tell them, no, it's gonna take like 5 years, that's how you know you're trying to milk them as much money. You're not trying to help them. You're just trying to, you're just trying to get a bag from them, right? So if you make sure your service meets the basic desires and needs, you're gonna make a lot of your customers happy. Like I said, not everyone's gonna be happy, but you have to try your best. And you have to make sure you treat each customer, each client that decided to pay you money, give them the best customer service. Something didn't go, ask them, how did it go? Did you like it? Is there something I can improve? Yeah, can you improve you talk too much. And I be like, oh, but I feel like you don't really care about me, you know, you're not really paying attention to the deal. I'm like, yes, you're right, you know. Thank you for doing it. I didn't realize, you know, I'm gonna do better next time, right? I'm gonna do better. And you have like surveys. How do you feel like I did? You know, and people are gonna appreciate it. People are gonna give you good reviews. And like I said, not everyone's gonna like you because sales is customer service at the end of the day, right? You're basically convincing someone to buy your product, and if someone buys your product, they buy it, they don't. People are gonna think you're ripping them off, or you just want money, you don't care. You know, okay, right? It's a business at the end of the day. Everyone needs money, everyone needs to eat. And you have to let them know that the service that I'm providing, it meets your needs, your desires. However, there's plenty of people, right? There's plenty of people. I'm good. You have to let people know I'm good, right? If you choose my service or not, I'm still good. I still have my clients. I still have my customers. And then at the end of the day, it'll be their choice to decide they want to stay with you. They're gonna be like, yeah, okay, you know, okay, I'll do it. Do you have anything cheaper? Do you have, okay, whatever, y'all. But if you meet their needs, just tell them that you're good. So that's basically it, y'all. And thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you on the next video.